Hello everyone and welcome to PlumesCast. My name is Seth, aka PhantasmaPlumes, and I'm coming to you pre-recorded from the Observatarium. As always, I thank you for tuning in today. Alright, so before I really get started in here today, I do have a couple of things I want to talk about, so, bear with me. First off, this is being recorded in front of my wonderful Twitch audience at twitch.tv/PhantasmaPlumes, and is also being performed live on the Wisdom app, of which you can find me there as well by using @PhantasmaPlumes. You have last week's chat on there already, and of course this one will be added as well. And of course you'll find this podcast at all the different locations that I am hosting it. So, in saying that, I do want to let y'all know, there may be times where I break to read chat or answer questions from I can't even start with that because chat is already, messing me up. But we will be answering questions from fellow Wisdomers as well. Don't read this out loud. Ha! What you gonna do about it now, Raymond? But I do want to say to all the Wisdomers out there, a huge, huge thank you. For those of you who don't know, I was given the honor of being a top mentor here recently. So I don't really know what that means 100%, but I do greatly appreciate the, ability and privilege to build out my content on here and share it with the rest of the world later on. So before I really get started here too, I do want to ask, I want to preface all this. I think everybody has experienced loss in some kind of way. And when you think of loss, I think a lot of people think of a bunch of different things all at once. Some people think about the family members and friends that they've lost to time, to life, to disease, to death rather. And some people will start thinking about, money they've lost, like financial ventures that failed. I know a lot of people that invested in crypto and all very early on that basically continued to invest in it and ended up losing big. It's unfortunate because you never want to experience loss. Like, we live our lives cautiously, Also, this is a good point Raymond's bringing up. During COVID, I'm definitely missing experiences. I used to do much more social IRL. Exactly. Like, we as humans are kind of geared to run away from failure, where, our bodies naturally kind of set up defenses against, losing odds. Like, if we see that we're about to drive off a cliff, we're going to turn the wheel 9 times out of 10. So to experience loss, to experience failure, a lot of us aren't programmed for it. A lot of us don't foresee it. A lot of us don't even consider the possibility. We're so blinded by the greatness of what could be that we don't take into account what could happen if everything goes south. And that's what I want to talk about today. Jello, shut up. That's what I want to talk about today, is dealing with those different kinds of losses that life can bring us. And how to, further grow from them, be able to take what you can, pick yourself from the rubble of things and use it to better prepare yourself for life's next big venture. Because let's be entirely fair with each other, guys. You can absolutely stay inside for the rest of your life. There's actually a whole society about this, or rather a person in society. I don't know the correct way to describe them, but if you've ever heard of the Japanese hikikomori, these are people that are socially reclusive, people that stay inside basically a room the rest of their lives. You could do that. You absolutely could stay inside and be safe and do what you know. But what are you gaining from that? What are you also in turn losing from that? As Ramu said, you miss experiences. Is it worth missing some grand venture that you could have taken just to stay safe? and that's, all that to say, that's what I really wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to preface all of this because, guys, chat, you're more than welcome to chime in. Wisdomers, absolutely feel free to drop questions into, my inbox, and I'll be more than happy to answer them during stream and recording here. And if I don't answer them, please be assured that I will come back through and answer them at a later time just to make sure every question's answered. But I want to start this story with one of my own. And this one's going to sound really it's going to sound stupid, I'm going to talk about my old car. So, for those of you who don't know, I used to drive an 87 Pontiac Fiero. That car was the coolest thing on the road, man. I absolutely adored that car more than life itself. Did I get into a lot of trouble with that car? Yeah, no, I will fully admit I used to get in a good amount of trouble just because I would be, running fast, getting into street races, doing things that a young 18 to 22-year-old would do. God, it's weird to think that this is only like 5 years ago, but ultimately, I had invested a crap ton of money into this car. I adored this car more than anything else. And unfortunately, I couldn't keep repairing it. I ended up, leaving the job that I was at that was giving me the money to, basically continuously upkeep this thing. And because it was so old, it just, started to fall apart in ways that I couldn't fix. I couldn't continuously fix, rather. So, in it, I lost my first car, and I hated that. I did not want to drive another car for a while. I had to, I had to keep working, but I didn't have like a project car. I didn't have a hobby. I didn't have something that I could call my own. When I went to the car meets with my new to me, Nissan Altima, it definitely wasn't turning heads as much as a Pontiac Fiero would. And if you haven't seen these cars, I really want you to pause the podcast or, put the wisdom call to the side and look at this car. It absolutely looks like a DeLorean. It's not, it's better. I will die on that mound, but here's the thing, in that time, I felt as though I lost something important to me, something that I could never really gain back. And, I lost out on friends because I could no longer grace them. I couldn't go out and hang out with them. Nobody wanted to be seeing like this lime-ish green Nissan around. So I fell out with a bunch of people. But the thing is, and also to add on to this story, the person that my mom sold the car to, because she sold it without me knowing it, the person that my mom sold this car to ended up tricking it out. Like, I saw a picture of it before it burst in flames. Because yes, these cars were absolutely known to catch flames so damn quickly if you didn't know what you were doing. If you overloaded it, you going too fast, you driving on a hot day, So we had, he had painted this car, because it was for his son. He wanted to give his son a really cool ride. So he painted it this, kind of metallic red, like a Barcelona red. And then he tricked out the rims, put new rims, got as much stock stuff that he could back onto the car. Like a lot of the aesthetic stuff, the Pontiac emblem and the Pontiac logo on the back. I'm not gonna lie, that car looks so much cleaner than what I could do with it. Now, mind you, I like the original coloring. I like the lights that I had in it. He replaced it with LEDs. And he replaced all the internals, like all the electronics, with, a new radio and new speaker system. I will admit, that car looks sick. But because of his son not understanding how to, respect the car and thinking he was the coolest thing on the road, I found out very soon after that the car had caught flame while his son was in it, Thankfully, he got out of the car. Everybody was fine. But my sweet car, my very first car, was ruined. And in that moment, not only did I lose friends, not only did I lose all the money I put into it, not only did I lose, one of the most important cornerstones of my life during the time, it really just kind of shattered. That was a part of my life that I would not be able to return to. But I want you to, think about it for a sec. All right, back in the day, well, good thing Seth didn't go up in flames. No, I fully agree. If I went up in flames, I wouldn't be here. I'd be telling you a different story, how I survived the burn ward. But, no. I will tell you all straight out. I want you to think back to that time. Try and put yourself in my shoes for a second. You're about young 20s. Your favorite car just went up in flames. And you were kind of working at a dead-end job that wasn't really going anywhere. And, the one thing that really brought you joy during that time, gone. The thing that I didn't realize at the time was because I lost, the car, my favorite little Pontiac, I ended up actually getting involved with more healthy things. I got out of something that at the time I didn't really realize was stupidly dangerous. That car was a death trap, 120%. It had no airbags. It crumbled so quickly. I got into one minor accident when I was younger, where a coworker had backed up into me. Mind you, she was maybe going 5-10 miles, and the door absolutely pushed in and messed up my arm. I popped my shoulder, or my arm had gotten popped out of place, and I had to go to the hospital for a little bit to get them to fix it up for me. And I was just like, this car scares me a little bit. But I think about that, in that loss of a car. Sure, I lost a couple of friends that weren't exactly the best for me, and I lost a form of income in racing. But I gained so much appreciation for my next car, and understanding the things I did to that Pontiac, I could do to my Nissan. Obviously I didn't go all crazy with it. I didn't, give it a speed kit and everything else, but I understood and I respected the car more. And I took better care of that car than I did my Pontiac, my first car. And I think that's kind of a given. When you have that first car, you ultimately aren't going to treat it the best. And in that, you learn a bunch of different things. You also, as weird as it is to say, I actually learned more about how to value different things in life. Seth, would you 5 your current car? No, I'm not putting cat ears on the current car. But, in losing all that, I gained appreciation for the world around me a little bit more. I actually came to appreciate my dad more because he was a mechanic. And, well, he was a fleet porter, but started as a mechanic. Or a salesperson, worked his way up, built his own motorcycle. Everything my dad could do to a car, I appreciated and I learned, and I feel as though, I went through all the motions of losing something, and walking away from it, I feel so much more, appreciative for the opportunity than it was better to love and loss than it was to never love at all. That's going to be the main theme of this entire podcast today, is talking about those experiences where, you thought that would be the thing that changed your life. During those times, I thought I wanted to go into professional racing. I thought I wanted to, because I was I didn't really know what I really wanted to do in college 100%. I had translation in mind. And, it was one of those aha moments where it was okay, I understand that this could get me killed. I'm going to stop doing this. And all in all, I fully invite my Twitch chat, Wisdomers, if you want to drop questions, feel free to ask. And I also want to know about your experiences. So hey, if you want, feel free to email the show at PlumesCast, PLUMESCAST @gmail.com. and we'll read your experiences on here. If you don't want to do it this week or you're listening to the prior recording, then we will talk about it next week. But I really want to, go into the nitty gritty of, I guess 5 different steps of recovering, like the grieving process. Because again, loss in itself doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be an emotional thing. It could be a mental thing. You can lose family members. You can lose friends. But what I want to impart to everybody listening to it today, and to everybody that listens to the recording later on, is that you having experienced something is almost always going to be better than never experiencing something at all. And of course, I'm not telling you, oh yeah, no, go be wild, go experiment with drugs, go, experiment with, alcohol and everything else, go crazy. No, don't do that. Be smart about it, but don't allow yourself to hold yourself back from fear. Don't allow yourself to, limit your capabilities. The things that you want to go and do that you feel like you almost have the drive to do. Like, for example, okay, this is one I'm borrowing from a friend of mine. But I had an artist friend back when I was in university that had some of the greatest art I've ever seen. But of course, with a lot of artists, they didn't have the confidence to go and submit stuff. They liked drawing to themselves and they talked about going professional, but they never really took it anywhere. And, it took a lot of encouragement. It took a lot of, late night conversations talking about, well, hey, this is what the art contest is all about. Do X, Y, and Z, and you'll be completely fine. And getting them to take that first step onto a new venture. Now they're actually a graphic designer over at a pretty well-known company. Now, obviously, I'm not going to drop names or anything like that because Lord knows I haven't talked to them in a long-ass time. And, I don't think they would appreciate it because we have stories. But the only story that, I don't think they would appreciate if the only story I shared on PlumesCast and with the rest of y'all is, just how I convinced them to submit their art for an art contest. But no, that's going to be the whole premise of today's talk, today's lesson. I want you to feel like you can go out and take a new opportunity. Because look, there are multiple things that can hold us back in life. Whether that be from ourselves, the mental, emotional, and physical, perceptions that we put upon things. Or it could be outside factors, finances, family. Look, if it's for your happiness, by all means, give it a shot. Be a little bold. Give yourself, a pat on the back. Because even if you end up failing, you might have the time of your life on the way there. And that's what I want to encourage and impart into you guys. So look, let's break it down, all right? Let's say, for example, what would be a good real talking point? Okay, hang on. So this is actually, Ramu's got a great point here. As much as I want to pursue some things, putting yourself out there causes you to be a target of internet bullies sometimes. Okay, this is actually a really good talking point. So, yes, you're 100% right. Putting yourself out onto different ventures, different, jobs, different anything can make you a target. You're the new person. If you start a new job, you're more likely to get a little harassed here and there because, especially depending, I don't know about y'all, but I used to work in mechanics or with mechanics a lot. So anytime I swapped dealerships for whatever reason, I used to get picked on a little bit. I can fully admit it. I was little IT, Now, eventually people warmed up to me and it was much easier and I had a great experience while working there for the most part. But being a target for bullies, yes, you are going to face adversities on any new challenge that you go to. But the thing is everything that you overcome, even if you don't feel like you did, everything that you pass by to continue to do the things that you love is making you stronger, stealing your resolve. And I think that in itself is a great reason to start something. You know, Raymond, I'm going to take your example and I'm going to take my friend's example and kind of merge them together. Okay? Because this is going to be a perfect example for my girlfriend. She wants to get into digital art. Now, mind you, I don't know if she's going to post it or anything like that off the rip, because as anybody that's starting digital art or any kind of art in general, you're going to suck at first. I think there needs to be a global understanding that nobody's perfect at anything when they first start off. Some people may have innate skills. Some people might be able to watch other people do things and pick up very quickly. But practice is always what's going to make perfection. And so when you first start off as a digital artist online and you post your first picture up there, especially if you tag something popular, let's just say, for example, you know, Toho or Chainsaw Man or anything, you know, of the other big shows going on right now. People might fully come out of the woodwork and destroy your work. You know, they might say, well, you didn't draw the hands correctly, or, you know, that body part's too oblong, her tits aren't that big, so on and so forth. And look, it's going to be hard. I think, you know, that's kind of a common theme that we've had across the past couple of podcasts, is that it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult. But by continuing on, like, and by the way, you're not going to be, you know, the best at taking criticism at first. You're not going to be able to see through, like, you're going to get comments in, and you might get a couple of likes here and there. You know, especially talking about the serotonin effect of likes and retweets, or thumbs up, or upvoting, depending on whatever social platform you're using. You might find across different audiences, Twitter loves your work, Facebook says it sucks, dear God, don't go Reddit, you know? But you may experience all these different things, and your mind will kind of gradually go towards the negative, because that is kind of, it's all in your perception of things. You know, if you submit something, where are her organs? Yeah, no, if you're an artist, if you're a digital artist whatsoever, that is a very common one, because they make the waist way too thin and they're like, where are her organs? She can't breathe. But that is entirely besides the point. But that's the thing. When you have a negative perception of yourself going into a new project, you are mentally shaping yourself to look towards the negative. 5 great comments will get blown away by 1 negative comment. And you might, you know, even take some criticism way too harshly and get super defensive. But that's the thing. Sometimes you have to, you know, experience the hardship that is a critic, and to be able to build yourself up. You know, you have to, and it's, again, it's difficult. It's never easy. It's a whole mental hurdle that you kind of have to prepare yourself for. And if you're not 100% there when the comments start coming in and the hate starts coming in, you end up just internalizing it. And you have to find, like, at that point, you have to find the strength to do it again. But I can guarantee you this. Every time you do it, every time you get up and you do a new piece of art, even if it's not, you know, that much better than your previous art, you're getting better. You're teaching yourself different things. Maybe you looked up how to use a different brush this time. Or maybe you know, experimented with color shadings and it looks just a little bit better. The important part is, and again, we talked about this before in the past, is to never stop moving forward. You can absolutely take a day from commissions. You can absolutely take time and give yourself the time that you need to heal. But don't allow yourself to come to a complete stop. Healing is not stopping. Healing is taking a breather. It's getting up and moving a centimeter. That's fine. Nobody's expecting you to make leaps and bounds off your first stick figure. But giving yourself that opportunity to rest, to recharge, to, mull over all the negative comments and take what you want from it and take what you need from it and then try again, you're going to find out that when you post the second bit of art and the comments start coming in, you're going to be able to deflect those negative troll ones just a little bit better. And look, in all of this, I'd like to bring up another topic or another, point of conversation, and I think this one is much more relevant to everybody who's listening in on this, no matter what age you are. But we've all had like moments where we thought we were posting something super funny and it flopped. Like, I will be entirely honest. The reason why I decided to talk about this was for two reasons. One was because somebody on Wisdom asked me, when you feel creative, what do you do? What energy do you bring? What brings all this out of you? Somebody asked me that. But I also had a really rough stream last night. I thought I was being funny, being entertaining. I was talkative throughout the entire stream. And I felt as though I was like really, really nailing the energy I wanted to have. A chill Persona 4 stream or just grinding, But I didn't have much of a viewer base. And it's at times like those where sometimes those low numbers hit me hard. Just because it's like, I thought I was playing the game that everybody wanted me to play. I thought I was being talkative. I thought I was being funny. People were coming in and leaving, so on and so forth. And, it made me question. I'm like, well, maybe I should stop doing Persona 4. Maybe I should find a different game to do, so on and so forth. But that's the thing. It didn't stop me from doing Persona. I'm going to continue playing the game on Twitch. I'm going to continue putting the game onto YouTube when people are picking up the VODs. It's one of those things where back in the past, it was really a realization moment. Where back in the past, when a stream did poorly, I would stop doing whatever game I was playing at that time. Didn't matter if I was enjoying it or not. Because I wanted to be the next hot streamer. I wanted to be the next, number one person on the platform. And to a degree, I still do. But I realized it's not about the numbers. It's not about, all the interactions that you have with everybody across the board. No, it's the meaningful comments that when you can pick them out and when you can see people are coming back and watching you and, continue to support you, when you build a small community, that in itself is what matters. It's not all the eyes that see what you do. It's not all the wisdomers that pass by my chat scrolling for the next big thing. No, it is when you find the people that want to connect with you. You start building an audience and you start finally feeling as though you are doing the right things. Even though streams may not be the best, like as far as viewership, as far as chats, as far as anything. You might have an off day, you might have an off week, but the important part is you don't allow that to stop your creativity. You continue, you let yourself have a pity party. Absolutely. If that's what you need, by all means, have a pity party. But pull yourself out from it when you're ready to. That's going to be the biggest thing about the failures and losses, is everybody's going to react to it differently. People who may show up in your life and just basically be like, oh, you should stop doing art. It doesn't do well on Twitter. It doesn't do well up here. Or you should quit this job because, you suck at it. So on and so forth. You're going to face these, adversities. And the more you face them, the more it's going to wear you down. But in that same wear down point, you also have a recovery point. You will know when it's time to get back out and try again. It's the whole notion of when you go out as a kid and you try swinging on a swing or you try riding a bike, you're going to fall. It's a given. You let the wound heal though. And some people are different. Some people can get up off the ground, leg all scraped up, and keep going because they want to continue riding their bike. They're having fun. Other people, when they hit the ground, even if it's just a little scuff, they start crying. That's okay. Like, I fully want to impart that any reaction that you have is valid. It's the way you take things. You being the unique you. There's no other you in the world, so don't expect anyone else to fully understand what you're going through. But at the same time, you have to know yourself to know when you're ready to heal. Understand that your grieving process, your healing process, will be entirely unique to you. You know, I'm saying all this, and I'm kind of going down the bullet points I've written out on the side a little bit, so I will circle all back around and get you guys, more acclimated, because I'm jumping between tangents. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love having a natural conversation with you guys as podcast listeners, as wisdomers, as Twitch viewers. I love being able to have just a straight flow of conversations and talking points. So please understand that this in itself for me was learning from previous poor podcasts, previous poor streams. I learned. I figured out what works best for me. And I feel like at the end of the day, that is what all these losses will do for you. All these failures that you experience will do for you. You will find things about yourself. You'll continue to grow and develop, even if it's an explosive failure. If you're still breathing, you learn something. You will learn something. And that's the thing too, is, going over to the more human side of loss, talking about family members that you've lost, friends, that have faded away because of, bad communication. In those lost friends, nothing really is lost. You still have the memories of them. You still have the experiences. You still have all the conversations and all the talking points. Yes, it may hurt that somebody near and dear to you is gone, but they have never truly left because they have imparted you. They have made you a better person to some degrees. They have taught you their stories. They have told you their jokes. They have made you laugh, made you cry. And that's great. But now that they're gone from your life, for whatever reason, it's up to you to take what you will from those experiences, those failures, and build yourself from them. So that way you're the best you for the next person that you meet. Does that make sense? It's hard. I know I say that all the time, but it really is difficult to, contextualize a lot of these things for one, unless you've lost somebody like this. And sometimes, again, it's going to hit people harder than it will others. And that's why I really want to kind of start, this whole conversation with, my 5 points that I've written out, that you have to acknowledge your pain. You have to understand that different losses, different failures are going to hurt you in different ways. If it's a financial loss, say, for example, you started this big business venture, you were investing in the newest, I don't want to say Facebook because it's no longer Facebook, but let's say you developed a social platform that was doing just as well as Facebook was, or Meta or whatever the hell they want to call themselves now as they continue to spiral down, but that's a whole nother conversation. But let's say you invested your heart and soul into this and you put a bunch of money into it and it fails. Nobody comes onto your platform. Even though you lost a bunch of money, even though your business failed, you learned more than what you're willing to give yourself credit for. And that in itself is amazing. The knowledge that you learn, the things that you, like all the pain that you experience, gives you the knowledge that you need to carry on to your next project. And let's be entirely fair. You may not get to your next project. Something in life may stop you, including, the ticking time of death. I hope In those times, you have imparted your wisdom, told your stories, shared whatever you could, so that way people learn from your mistakes. Because, hey, when you teach other people, you reinforce the thoughts that you had yourself, the lessons that you've learned, and you grow from them. It's a fantastic thing. And that's the thing too. That's why I encourage so many of my, listeners, whether it's on Wisdom, whether it's on Twitch, whatever it be, to tell their stories. Because when you can tell a story, when you can, give yourself that vulnerability to say, all right, world, I fucked up, and this is why, you yourself steel your resolve that much more for the next adventure. I know it sounds like a, medieval fantasy right now, but it's, it's the truth. So acknowledge the pain, acknowledge everything that you feel, because your experiences may be a stepping stone to somebody else's healing. Because unfortunately, as much as we'd love to say, all of our lives are unique, there's common points. I'm a system administrator. I know the things that I work on a daily basis. Countless other IT guys do. So when I share stories about, I fixed the server by kicking it a couple of times, I fully expect at least one junior IT to do the Charlie Brown into a server and knock that thing off the rack, But anyway, so the second point though that I wanted to bring up in all this, and we've already talked about it a little bit, but to kind of contextualize it for the people that are playing at home, you have to accept that the pain that you feel can trigger many different, and really just straight unexpected emotions. You yourself will end up feeling a whole variety of different ways, from dealing with loss, failure, whatever. And I'll be entirely upfront. I have a great story about this. I hate admitting it about myself because it was one of my weakest points, but I was cheated on. I had somebody that wow. One of Mocha's in chat saying pain suck, IL plus a ratio. But no, there was a point where I was cheated on. I thought this girl was the love of my life. We were dating for over a year, and I got cheated on because she ended up, talking with a bunch of different other people, fell in love with one of the people, started flirting with them. And, to some degree, I will be entirely upfront. I don't know who started the flirting, who didn't stop it, so on and so forth. That's neither here or there. But it was one of those moments where my heart was shattered and handed to me. And the thing that made it that much worse was I had become emotionally attached to this person that I was dating at the time. I had lost my father. I had lost my brother. Within that same year I was dating her. And it was really weird because I would come home from work and we would be talking about something and be like, oh yeah, no, this happened. And it's just like, oh, within the first few months of us dating, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. My brother accidentally offed himself. And then my father passed from cancer, all within 3 months. It was a very interesting part in the relationship. But, and I will fully admit, partly because, it's the truth of the matter. But, I ended up learning the hard way that I wasn't ready for love. I wasn't when I had the opportunity to get into a relationship again, I was met with somebody that cared about me, that cherished me more than the person I was previously dating did. And I ultimately pushed them away because I was hurt. I was still hurting. I, felt cold. I felt distant. I felt as though I could not, be the partner that they were being to me. And ultimately, I broke somebody's heart. And in that, I broke my own heart because I was like, oh shit, I did all these terrible things to this person. I don't deserve anything. I spiraled. Ooh, Lord, I spiraled into depression. Like, I hate saying that because that word gets tossed around so many different times, but it really forced me into one of the worst parts of my life. And I still, to this day, am thankful for it. You know why? It taught me both the way partly my love language, which was time. I never knew that. Because to be entirely upfront with you guys, I am a people pleaser. I'm a workaholic. I constantly, want to strive for great things and do all these acts of service for, my partner and everything else. And ultimately, it's not my love language. I learned that. I learned to, not allow other people to control my emotions. I learned that from loss, from death, and from, a broken heart, that I'm worth a lot more than I would ever give myself credit for otherwise. And I'm so incredibly thankful. Like, I hate that it happened. Don't get me wrong. I fully hate that it happened. But that person that, tried to pick me up afterwards is still a close friend today. And I'm still incredibly thankful for the experience. We don't talk a whole bunch, but it's, we both have different lives. I completely get it. But I learned how to be me. And that was the greatest healing moment of them all. I risked a long distance relationship, had family members die, and got a broken heart. But I would do it all again because I got to see who I truly am. To some degree. Now, I will be entirely honest with you and say that was not the end of all of my self-discovery. And because of all the different, life experiences that I've had, and I will gladly go into them, I ultimately became a better boyfriend for my current girlfriend. When I met the woman that I was, you know what? There is no was. There is, I'm going to marry this girl. Hi, Juju. I love you. But when I met this woman, I knew I was ready. I knew I had suffered long enough and that I was ready to find my happiness with somebody else. And that woman was the one. And it took off from there. And that's, I know this is all losses and everything, and I haven't even got to the point 3, 4, and 5 yet. But I do want to say, be bold, risk things, because I had no clue that those 3 major events, here's another one, okay? I've talked about this on the show a good number of times. I have been a abuse victim. I have been, it's a little hard to admit, but I've been abused by my parents, both because they were alcoholics and because they would just never forget or never remember. But I was also abused by their friends. And that's physically, sexually, emotionally, mentally, all the full fucking gamut. And there was one point where I confronted my mom. This is when she was still alive. And I confronted her about all the, hardships that she put me through. And when I tell you that this woman didn't believe a word that I said, no, she didn't. Her exact words to me were, well, you can believe whatever truth you want, but no, that never happened. Nothing like that ever happened at all. I felt so incredibly lost because I had spent so much of my life to that point. That was probably about 25, 26. I'm 27 now. But I had spent so much of my life trying to please that woman, trying to be the best son that I could be because one of her sons was dead because of, drugs, and her daughter, kind of separated away from her, became estranged before I did because my mom's an alcoholic and my mom smoked and was two-faced and everything else. But that was my mom. And to me, to this day, and when it comes time for me to have kids, family is the most important thing to me. That's why I cherish all the time that I have with my girlfriend, especially our alone time, because, that is my family. That is, now mind you, I have my friend family as well that I love and adore, and I'm excited to have a good number of them, come over for an anime convention coming through next week. But, it's in those moments of solidarity where I find myself loving the fact that I've built this amazing support group and this amazing friend group. Like, I became a better person because I survived abuse. It's hard. And when you're going through it, it's even harder because that is currently where your life is at. But when it's past that, when you get to see all the amazing things that are laying in wait for you, and when you find those right moments that just click for you, that in itself is when everything that you've gone through is worth it. So, and here's the thing, let's back it up a little bit too. You have to understand that your healing process is going to be completely unique to you. You are the master of your own story. You yourself know you the best. Even if you have imposter syndrome to certain degrees, and you try to lie to yourself, you at your heart and you in your mind and you in your soul understand the things that are going to keep you going at the end of the day. And if they're vices, listen, this is your wake-up call. You don't need them. You don't need, any negative friend around. You don't need, some mind-altering drug or anything like that. You can fully find within yourself the thing that you need. And if you can't, like Ramu says, I really don't know what's keeping me going right now, used to, but not so much anymore, then find it. It's, I know that's a cop-out answer, but you still know. There's something within you. There's somebody that you care about. Even if it's on your own self-preservation, there's something carrying you. Quiet the world around you and listen. Meditate on it, breathe. Take a second when you're driving to work or when you're driving home or when you're just alone. Give yourself that opportunity to be true to yourself and say, what is my driving factor? If you don't have one quite yet, if you can't find it, then find it. I know that sounds weird, but, it's empowering, trust me. Take that second, find where you are in life, and figure out what your next goal is. Maybe your empowering factor is just getting candy the next day. And you know what? That's hella worth it. You deserve it. Go get yourself a Twix. If you don't like Twix, I'm sorry. You're wrong. No, I'm more of a Mentos guy or Starburst. I've slowly, my sweet fox wife is going to give me so much shit about this, but I absolutely love me some Starburst now. I used to be all about the Mamba, but I've had Starburst for the first time in a long while, and you know what? Starburst supremacy is a thing. She is probably going to be laughing her head off like, I told you! Also, the Twix hater going off in chat. Good lord. Some things never change. But anyway, look, when you understand that your grieving experience is unique to you, you can start actually healing. you know, and some people will come into your life and say, oh, you need to do this. You need to, go to therapy. You need to go on vacation. You need to, stay away from the junk food. No, don't, like, if it's not the correct answer for you, don't allow that to be your answer. Continue on, march on, find what your answer is. Find what makes you happy. Even if it's just in the moment, be healthy about it. But go get yourself some ice cream. Go get yourself, a new video game. Go spend a little bit of cash on yourself. Go have fun. Get yourself out of that zone, that, terrible headspace that you're in, and allow yourself to, come back to it revived. And understand too, we've talked about this a number of times, that when you're in these terrible moments where you're dealing with loss, when you're dealing with grief, it's going to hit you like a wave. There are going to be certain times where you're well above the surface, just enjoying the sunlight, the fresh air of the ocean, and then all of a sudden, a wave just knocks you the hell out. And you're under the water, you're being pressed all about by the currents, you don't know where the sunlight is, it feels like you're drowning. Those, my friends, are the moments where you have to pull yourself up. And you have to keep going. Even if you don't, even if you and yourself don't know how to swim upwards, by fighting it, by continue to keep moving, by not allowing yourself to stop, you and yourself will find the sunlight again. And it may be for a day, it may be for, a week, it may be for a month. There are certain times where I'm out and about. Like when I think about Thanksgiving, when I think about, Christmas, and I think about how empty it's going to be without most of my family there, I get depressed. Yeah, fully. But then I realize, and this is, point 4 of all this, is I have an amazing support team and my lovely girlfriend and my amazing friends that are my family now. I'm doing a Friendsgiving. I've built a face-to-face support group that care about me. I allowed myself to put down all these walls that I built up over years. It was not an easy process, but I allowed myself to lower my guard, to expose the world to who I am. This is part of the reason why I can do podcast with the energy that I have and come on to Wisdom and record it here, is because I let those guards down and I got to show people the real me. And in all that, I got to meet people that truly cared about the real me, who I am, the things that, really, or the people that really care about me, the people that aren't going to use me for, a room and then leave, or, money or sex or anything. Those people that truly care about you, those are the ones that you want to keep close. And that's the thing too, is we live in a society right now where the number of friends we have is something like a social currency, where if you don't have over 500 friends on Facebook, you're not really anybody. If you don't have like 200 connections on LinkedIn, you're not worth hiring. Like, yes, there are absolutely people that you're going to meet in life that are just going to add to that number. And that's okay. The important part is understanding which of those people are going to add to that number that you'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And those that are like, hey, man, I'm having a hard time. I need you. I am very proud to say that I think I am that friend for, a good handful of people. Now, I always offer that to everybody that listens to the podcast, listens to Wisdom, listens to the Twitch stream. I am proud to, sit here and listen and be your support. But at the same time, there are a few friends that if I got a phone call right now, I would end the stream. I would be in my car within 5 minutes and I would be booking it down the road to get to them. And they know who they are. And if they don't, then they haven't gotten to the point of grieving where they lowered their walls enough to see, hey, there are all these people here. Like, that's the thing too, is when you finally start to heal, when you give yourself that room to recover, when you start taking down each individual brick of your wall, you might be surprised to find people are waiting there for you. And they're so proud of you. And I want to take this moment to say I'm proud of you for continuing on despite everything you've gone through. It's a hard fight, but you've been fighting it, and you're doing great. Consider me as one of those people waiting on the outside for you. But when you find those people that truly care about you, that when those walls are all down, come rushing inside to give you the biggest hug, you found it. You found what you were truly looking for in life. Be proud of that. Enjoy it. And let's be entirely fair. These people may not stick around with you forever too. Yes, these are your people, but people is a subjective term. It can mean more than 3 persons. That's people. There's some people over there. It could be 300 people. That number fluctuates. But the important part is to never allow those memories that you make with those friends to go to waste. Enjoy them, relish them, call on them when you need strength. Because they're still there with you, even if they physically can't be. And exactly, Mocha brings up a great point. Humans change. Some of those people that were your people may not continue to be. Maybe they have their own journeys that they have to go on. And when they leave from you, you may not be able to help them. And that's okay. You yourself might have been a stepping stone to their recovery. And you kind of have to forgive them on that too. You know, the people that we love that we end up losing for whatever reason, you know, sometimes we feel as though we didn't do enough. We didn't, you know, listen to them when they were crying. We didn't, you know, advise them about that bad boyfriend. We didn't do enough. But the reality is, if they were still here to say it, you've done plenty. You yourself need to be selfish to some degree. But they don't blame you for the choices they made. It's okay. You did what you could do in that current time. Now it's time to continue onward and be stronger with the knowledge you have, so that way when you come across the next person that's in a similar situation, you're better equipped and you can do it for them. But the last point I really want to make in all this is you need to support yourself in every step of this battle. You yourself need to be able to be strong emotionally. And to do so, you need to be strong mentally. And to do so, you might need to be strong physically. You yourself can't allow yourself to degrade any more than what you have. You know, when you're ready to start healing, when the healing process really kicks off. When the healing process really kicks off, that's when you start realizing that, hey, it's time, like, maybe I should eat a little bit healthier, or maybe I should go to the gym, or maybe I should engage in more healthy practices. You know, I personally have been the type to go to the gym. I haven't gone in a while, but, you know, that's a side conversation. We can talk about that later. But, you know, you end up finding little things that you want to do to better improve yourself. You want to start putting aside money. You find that, you know, saving money is a little bit easier. You find that, ooh, fraud. Excuse me, I am still strong, boy. You poor wisdomers can't see me flex. But in podcast listeners listening to this after it's premiered on Sunday, it's gonna miss it too. But I am still strong, boy. Sometimes more strong of heart than, you know, strong of muscle, but it's, you know, it's a good give and take in life. But, no, seriously, you have to take care of yourself. It's hard. There are going to be days where, you know, you don't want to eat well, that you want to just have ramen. That's the day that the wave's hitting you. And that's okay. You can absolutely go pig out on a thing of ice cream. By all means, I encourage it. But at the same time, after doing so, don't look at yourself with discontent. Don't be like, oh, I can't believe I ate all that ice cream in one sitting. Hey, yo, I think everybody's seen the bottom of an ice cream pail or whatever. You know, ice cream carton. at one point of their lives, unless you're lactose intolerant like me, and then you still do it anyway, and you just deal with the repercussions of it later because, man, fuck lactose intolerance, milk is good. But, you go through this entire thing, and you also, Aaron, thank you for the stream. No one not in one sitting, what the fuck? I mean, Mocha, it takes time. Maybe you've eaten candy, maybe you, have gone through a whole experience. Or like a whole, bag of candy, a whole box of cookies, whatever. Whatever your vice is, you find the bottom of it. I'm a candy eater. Alright, well there you go. So maybe you ate the end of, some orange cream Twizzlers. And you're like, damn, that was good. But I ate all that. I'm so fat. I can't believe it. Okay. You need to stop, first off, and give yourself that little bit of self-love saying, okay, yeah, I ate all this. Yeah, I'm a little bit bloated right now. I will do better tomorrow. And I will do better the next day. See, in life, it's not always about, it's not always about the experiences that you did. It's about being able to pick yourself up from them and being able to say, okay, I fucked up today. Tomorrow will be better. That is how you grow, my friends. This isn't, I'm not going to be able to tell you, and again, this is a whole tangent that I'm about to go on, but it's PlumesCast. It's all personal. It is. No, I talk about real things. I truly, love the fact that people can hear my stories and go on to do better things with their lives. But this is about to be a whole ass tangent. But I hate when people come on to whatever social platform and says, oh, well, these are the number 3 steps, that you need to do. Like crystals, you need to bring crystals. Like, if crystals make you happy, by all means, get some. But there's no magic remedy to depression. There's no magic remedy to an eating disorder. There's no magic remedy to healing after your dad took a baseball bat to your head. Unfortunately, there's not. The remedy is picking yourself up and continuing on. And understanding, all right, maybe next time I duck. No. There's no one given remedy. Again, we said it before earlier. But you yourself are going to experience your own set of pains. Much as if your grief brings out different emotions for each person, your pain, your anguish, the things that you suffered from are going to be different. Now, that doesn't make you, and I'm going to be entirely honest, you don't have main character energy after, getting hit by a car. It's, look, yeah, you got hit by a car. You know how many other people have gotten hit by a car? Shit. I could give you a bunch of numbers off of where I live alone. But you have experienced something that a bunch of other people have. Yes, you yourself need to figure out how you can heal, but you can absolutely. There's a great process in business called benchmarking, where you take the wins and the losses of another company and compare them to yourself. A similar company, mind you. So me being an IT administrator and being a systems admin, looking onto Reddit and seeing other people deal with these issues, like what they did to fix it, I can then take back to my own environment and be like, okay, I can try this. And if it doesn't work, I keep going. I don't know about you, but I got isekai'd. Man, Truck-kun has never hit me that hard. My closest remedy is, I hate myself very well for that, but I still have shit to do. No, that in itself is still a great remedy. It is not the best remedy, I'm going to be upfront with you, but if that's what keeps you going, by all means, continue to do it. Be proud of it. Be proud of the things you have to do. I will be entirely upfront with y'all and let you know that there was one point where I was in the worst abuse stages of my life, where I was getting beaten by my parents, I was getting bullied at school, I was fighting for money. Like, your boy was not in a good position. And it was in those moments where I wanted to unalive myself that I found a strength. And that strength was, I have people that need me. I have to continue to protect my family and my friends. That was my strength. I was a martyr for years. And to this day, I can look back at some of the things I used to write, because writing was my escape back during the day. But I could see it. I could see, the need, like the workaholic that was developing in me, the people pleaser that was developing in me. Like, these are still vices that I fight with on the daily, and I'm slowly regaining my life from them thanks to my amazing partner who cares and loves. Like, she may bully me a little bit. She do a little bit of bully, but I know it comes from a place of good intentions, and it's a place of care and a place of wanting to see me perform my best. I am no longer, good old Seth the hero, but I am Seth the good guy that's going to help you out. We all don't need to be a hero. We all don't need to be a savior. We just need to be that hand that reaches out at the right time. Also, Mocha brings up, having a journal really helps me. No, that's true. Find the things that you need to do to heal, to embrace it. For me, I will be entirely upfront with y'all. My greatest healing method from everything that I've experienced in life, the thing that has made me stronger, is by continuing to take down walls that I've put up from years and sharing my stories with y'all. Because, yes, it allows me to teach and empower and embrace a new generation of people that maybe this is the last little bit they need to take off and go. Or maybe this is the wake-up call that they needed, that, hey, it's time to heal. It's in those moments that, yes, I can help humanity by sharing my stories and empower a group of people that would never have felt empowered before, or maybe not as quickly, or maybe not in the same way. But it also imbues those memories, those strengths, those knowledges, those things that I've learned and grown from, and allows me to heal that much further. Let's see here. I think in an ideal world, a really great roleplay session would be kind of my vacation from the anxiety, depression. Business is slow, so I try and find other stuff. Ramu, I got you. Don't say that. I think even Mocha would chime in on that one too. Not to volunteer, but sorry. Again, if you're new into the Wisdom Chat, I am recording this in front of you guys as well as a Twitch audience. And that's where I'm reading a bunch of these chat messages that are coming up. If you want to see if you want to see me live, you're more than welcome to join in at twitch.tv/PhantasmaPlumes. You'll see my friendly face and all the sweet LED effects I have going on in the background. I'm a certified gamified boy. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine you just got life advice from a gamer. Oh, man. But no. I think we have said some really great things tonight. So I really do want to open the room. Twitch chat, if you want to say anything, now's the opportunity to. Wisdom chat, if you want to send questions in, I will be paying a little bit better attention to, the notifications coming in. But this is, your opportunity to come in and have a conversation as I gradually roll everything up into a small, neat little package. And then I upload it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, and everywhere else that I host this stuff. So, actually, I'm very proud. I've been saying in my outro for the longest time that it's soon to be YouTube. Soon to be YouTube. Soon to be YouTube. Well, guess what, y'all? YouTube's becoming a thing, because now that I've recorded this live on Twitch, I take the VOD and I just bring it over. Oh, man. As if life is monopolized by a specific class, job, or way of life. Gaming is very valuable for dopamine and other neurotransmitter activity. Don't discount gamers from psychology. Seth is cool, and despite me not being around much, I really pray for the utmost best lifetime from my friend. That's all. Wow! Thank you! Same goes to you, Moga. But anyway, I do truly want to say, like, guys, thank you all so much for being here. It was like a really great chat. And again, to just sum everything up for everybody that's joining in, and for the people that, listen to my podcasts in chunks, there are 5 things you really have to understand about failure and loss. That, even though experience, like, I fully still to this, ending, encourage you to go out and experience life. Grab it by the horns and just do everything you want. If you're scared, take a deep breath. Plunge yourself into the cold water. Find that strength within you to make that bold step. You may not find out that the grass was greener or not, but you learned from it. And in doing so, you better prepare yourself for the next events in life, for the next special person. If you loved and lost, guess what? The next love that you find is going to be that much better because you know yourself that much better. If she cheated on you, bro, who cares? Because you learned how to give love, how you love to receive love. And that's the thing too, is, we all joke about, the college years and our young years being the years that we experience, a whole bunch in life, and it's true. You have to take these moments where you can go out and experience brand new things with joy, with excitement. It's a new lesson for you, and it's right in front of you. Don't deny it. Be smart about it. But let's see here. I guess I would say I hope said cheater learned that they may have been missing something in their life. I have no clue. Maybe they have. I have absolutely had that opportunity, or those moments where people that are no longer a part of my close circle of friends, reach out and just like, hey, I miss you. I miss the blah, 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 blah. And, before in the past, I would have been like, oh, well, I miss you too. Oh my God. But no, I learned that those people aren't the people that I want in my life. And that, again, you are not a terrible person for thinking that. You are 100% valid for saying, you know what? Listen, boo, you're not right for me. And then carry on. You might break a couple, or you might hurt a couple of feelings, but if you are doing it for the betterment of yourself, and you are doing it because that is what your heart says to do, then by all means, why wouldn't you? You know yourself better than anybody. And if that person ain't right for you, see ya. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That is very true. Because your enemies are going to teach you more than any friend could. Because you learn from enemies, you learn from adversaries, that's it. You learn how to better fight against it. You build your strength. You learn how to mentally, go back and forth with somebody. You're stronger of mind. And most importantly, you don't allow somebody that's trying to bring you down to continue to bring you down. You see those trolls on your art post, fuck it. I know I'm not really supposed to be cussing a whole bunch on wisdom, but by all means, you yourself, build your strength, build your resolve, build your merit, build who you are by every person trying to take a swing at you. Don't be afraid. By all means, let me say this too. Don't be an asshole. I'm not saying, oh man, every fight you get in, you get a little bit stronger. Now, don't go up to some old lady on the street and sucker punch her. No, it's not the lesson I'm trying to impart. And if anybody tries to bring that legality on me, I really just want to slide in. PlumesCast is not legal advice. Do not bring your boy down to the courtroom because I am not, of legal, interpretation master, whatever. But anyway, no one in this life and I'm completely stealing this from Twitch chat now, thank you, Mocha, but no one in this life is forced to be kept around you, and you and yourself is the same. You don't have to stay around anybody. You don't have to get into fights to learn and grow. But you yourself are the one that will take those experiences and shape yourself to build yourself for the better. And I hope you remember that. Reimu says, I admit, I dislike myself more than I stand up for myself. Well, now you hit me with the pretzel thing. No, Reimu, this one's just for you, and this is for anybody else that feels the same sentiment of disliking yourself more than liking yourself. It's hard. Sometimes you look in the mirror and you see somebody that you don't want to be. You find things about yourself that you just absolutely want to tear yourself down. And that's, again, this is going to sound weird, but that's okay. You know, you yourself are your best judge. You're also your best or your worst critic. But the important part is you never allow yourself to tear yourself down to the point where you cannot continue onward. If you ever get close to that point, that's when you got to reach out and find a different way to heal. And you have to find your strength in this world, whether that's friends, family, or activities. Things that make you happy, things that give you that brief reprieve, whatever they be, take it, run with it. Get yourself out of that headspace, and then when you're ready, go back towards it. And you know, unfortunately, for some people, it's going on vacations, and sometimes you don't have enough time to fully heal for yourself before you go back in. But take whatever strength you have and use that to, you know, beat back the things you dislike and replace those things you dislike with things that you do like. You know, I'm not saying it's easy by any stretch of the mind. You know, if you have people bullying you, you can't counter all the bullies with, you know, as Little Bill would say back in the day, for those who remember that great old 90s show, Sal? Yeah, it's me, Sal. You can't do that. And you can't always look in the mirror and be like, well, you know, I'm a little fat, but damn, I got great arms. You know, I can't say that. But what I can say is you and yourself can find the things that kind of make you proud of you. It's not going to be a one-for-one every single day. Like I said, every day you look in the mirror, you're not going to find something you love about yourself. Recovery, strength, building upon yourself would be much, much easier. More people would be doing it if it was. The important part is to never stop looking for it. Finding the things that you love about yourself. The kindness. And, you know, if I could be as so bold as to take this moment to say, I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you always being there if I ever need somebody to, you know, talk to. You are an incredibly caring person, and you have a humongous heart. If no other positivity rings out, I hope my soft words will. Because it's the truth. You know? And that's the thing, too. In what I just did for Reimu, I want everybody listening to find that in somebody. Somebody that will give you the honest truth, the positivity that maybe you don't see quite yet. And give yourself that self-love that you so desperately deserve. Whew. Damn, that was a whole... I'm proud of that one. That was pretty damn good. But I think that is more than all she wrote today. I am unfortunately running out of time because I do have to go get my sweet, sweet, amazing, and loving fox wife, who I adore so, so very much, from work. I'm actually super proud of her. She's got a new job lined up. So I hope to eventually have her on. I hope, you know, to have her on the Wisdom Chats, the podcast, and just be somebody that can bounce things off of. And hope that maybe, you know, inspires her own creativity, or her own creative adventures and all. Because she deserves to be able to express herself in every way. And I hope to everybody listening in on this that maybe you have a little bit more inspiration to find what makes you happy. Or maybe I gave you a smile for today. You know, listen, and again, you can listen to this as many times as you need to. If you want to clip this one specific part, and you know, you can send it to me so I can use it later. But if you want to clip this one specific part, I want you to know that if nobody else is cheering for you in your corner in whatever battle you're going through right now, in this very moment, no matter what time this is, no matter what day, no matter what year, because the magic of technology will allow me to tell you this as many times as you need. There's somebody right here and now that believes in you. And that's me. You're going to do great. Just keep on fighting on. Whew. I think that is about all she wrote, though. Sorry, my cat is going crazy back there. I hope that doesn't pick up on podcasts, but you know if it does, yeah, no, I think people are used to hockey by now. Bro, go pick up your woman. Yeah, no, I gotta get going. So, guys, seriously, to all my wisdomers, to everybody on Twitch land who came out to support this, and to all the podcast listeners, thank you for being here. Remember, you can find me... Bro, go pick up your beautiful fox life. I'm going! Remember, you can find me in the night skies across different platforms. You've got PhantasmaPlumes on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and TikTok, and Wisdom. You can listen to You can listen to PlumesCast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon products. I'm proud about that. You can ask your smart device to say, hey, play the PlumesCast podcast, and it will do it. I recorded it. I'm very proud of that. But you can also email the show directly by sending it to plumescast@gmail.com. That email again is plumescast, PLUMESCAST @gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much for listening in. And as always, I'll talk to you again from the stars very soon. Until next time, everyone, have a great night. Bye-bye.